Hi and welcome to another video. I'm Daniel and I'm going to show you a few tips on using text in Davinci Resolve. So straight into Davinci Resolve, we're going to work in the Edit tab. That is the third option down here to the right from the left. You want to add some text to your video. A very simple way to just add some text is to go down here to your toolbox. You have to have your effects selected up here. So you go up here and make sure that this is selected, effects. Then what you will have is a toolbox here, and inside the toolbox you will have something called titles. And inside here you have loads of different options with the things that you could add to your video. Usually I'm quite clean when I'm using titles, so I mostly use this text plus. So what you'll do is you'll pull this out, you mark it and you drag it out here. Then you can manipulate the length that you would like to show this text by zooming in on the timeline and draw this in and out. Okay. Once you've done that, you have a text field up here, and the same thing, you need to have the inspector chosen up here. So if this is grayed out, you won't have the option. So you press the inspector up here and you have a bunch of different options here. So there's the text, obviously. And you can choose to just change this text later that evening. Maybe you would like to say to your video. And inside of this text plus you can manipulate everything pretty much. You can change the font here, and you can also, all these buttons over here is keyframes. So you can keyframe everything in here. You can even keyframe the changing of a font. I'm gonna choose Unisons again. I think that size is good. Down here, if you scroll down a bit, where you can add this right on effect to the screen. So you simply just pull it all the way down here. You put a keyframe in here, little diamond there, and then you let it play for as long as you would like it to last, the right on effect. And you just pull the lever all the way out to the right. So now you will have this right on screen effect there. Really nice. Another thing that you could add to this is you can add this zoom effect to this text. So let's say you would like it to zoom in. You can choose this sizing here to be all the way down to 0. And you let it go for 1-2 seconds, half a second. You pull it up to the size. And now you also added like a zoom effect there. And if you would like to have this on a different place in the image, you can press this transform tool down here. And you can just drag it to wherever you like. Maybe I would like to have it here, and I would like to have it smaller. And I would like to have this right on screen effect. So I go down. I pull this down to the left, I put a keyframe on, let it slide for a couple of seconds, and pull it all the way to the right. What you also could do here is you can go into the shading tab up here. So you scroll up and you press the shading tab. Here you can add some 3D effect, you could say. I only usually use this third one, which is just to add a black shadow. So you press the third and you can press enable there. So it will add a little drop shadow to your text. You have loads of different options here. A lot of them I don't think look that good, but you can play around with these and see if you find anything else that would suit your needs. I usually just add the drop down shadow. You can change the color of that shadow if you would like. Add more green to it. Red, how strong you would like it to look. And now we have a cute little right on screen effect there. Let's say you would like to add a cool intro to one of your videos. Let's say I have this video here, a really cool drone shot. Let's say this clip to me feels kind of moody. Let's say I would like to add a cool text intro to this one. What I could do is I can pull this video up here. So I mark this video and I pull it up like that. We go over to the text plus tool and we pull it over here. Zoom in on the timeline. I press N in order for me to activate this snappy function, so I can easily pull it to the line like that. Let's say I would like this intro to last for, yeah, maybe like that. I mark this clip, press Ctrl B to cut it, and I mark this clip and I press delete. So now I have this here. What we're gonna do next is add a typing to this text under here. So we press this little video button here to disable the video track for now. We go into the text and we're gonna size this up to explain what we need to explain. So let's say we have a movie about a character that has a tough fall, like the season fall. Let's say we have fall there. I'm gonna choose unisons. So let's say we enable this video track again. Then what you can do is you mark this video track and you go up here to composite and you change the composite mode to darken. The video will be engulfed inside of the letters that you've just made. And this in and by itself looks really cool, I think. Also, what you could do just to add a really cool like zoom effect to this text is you can just press the transform tool here. So you press the transform tool and you can just drag this middle point here, and this will change where you will zoom into the picture. So let's say you want to zoom into this parking lot. Maybe your character is at a parking lot right now. Let's say you're here. And then you go up here to the right and go over to settings. And up here you press a keyframe here up on the zoom. So you press a keyframe there. And then you imagine how long you would like the zoom effect to be, maybe to here. So I press space and I stop when I would like the zoom effect to be finished. And I zoom in here. And maybe I would like that to ease in a bit with the starting point. So I press the little arrow up here to the starting point. Then I can right click this keyframe point here and I can press ease out instead of linear. That will push itself on a little bit more. So I like the feeling of that more. And we can also add some motion blur to the zoom, which will add a little bit more feeling to the effect. So we go over to title and we go over to settings up here to the right, and we can click motion blur and can just add maybe 5. This will be tough on your computer. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. And you can also add the same effect to the clip as you do with the text. So you mark the video and you do the same thing pretty much. So we go up here, you move this centerpiece. You're already up here in the transform tools. You'll add a keyframe to the starting point. And you go over to the where you're all zoomed in. And you zoom in. And you go back to see how it looks. Quite okay. And you can see that they work in between each other. I think that adds to the effect a little bit. It feels like the image pushes the title away. Another thing that you can do to add some feeling to your clip, let's say I have this clip here and I would like to set the scene for the viewer, and I'll add a text plus up here. And let's say I would like to add some vintage text here. So I'll go up to the text field and I change this to cloudy day. Change the font to unisons. Change the sizing a little bit. And let's say I would like to have this pop out of the screen. So I go over here to size. Make it really small, all the way to the left. go half a second and I push it onto the screen. And you can add a little effect here if you just pay attention to the keyframe. So I'll add full size here. I'll go 2 frames front by using my arrows on the keyboard, 1, 2, and make it a little bit smaller. This will make it so that the title get this little like pushback look. I think that this would go a little bit faster. So I remove this keyframe and I remove this keyframe and I back up a few keyframes and I make it big. And I go front 2 keyframes and I go back like that. And I would like to have this slowly fade away. So I go all the way to here and I'll change the sizing to like that. So it goes front and then it slowly decays, which adds a little cool feeling. And then I maybe would like it to disappear altogether. So I'll go 4, 5, maybe 10 frames back and I'll push it back all the way. So now I have a pretty cool effect like that by just playing around with the keyframes. And maybe I would like it to circle down as well. So while it's going fast away, I'll add some rotation. So I go over to layout up here, rotation. And you have a lot of different ways you can rotate it here. I would like to rotate it like that. So I'll add a keyframe over here to the right. And we go all the way until it's gone. And we'll add a couple of loops there. Now it will look really crazy. It looks a bit fun. And maybe you would like to add some effects to this text so it looks a little bit more classy or cool or whatever. So you can go over to shading, go to the third one and add a little drop shadow. That is very harsh, a bit too harsh for my style. So I'll go down here to the opacity, change that a little bit so it's not that harsh. Maybe like that. And let's say I would like to add some vintage effect to this text, just a little bit. We can go over here to the left and we go over to open FX and you scroll all the way down here and you'll find a lot of different options. This time we're gonna choose the film damage here. You can add that to the text. And after that you click on effects up here to the right. And from here you can change a lot of different things to this text to make it look a little bit different. You can change dirt intensity here, dirt size, make it look a little bit dirty. You can add geometry factor, tilt amount, tilt angle, focal factor, tint shift, temperature. Add like this old TV effect on this one. And finally, you can add a little bit of movement maybe to this text. I don't know how that would look. But you can go here and you can add camera shake to the text for it to move like this. I like to add this like PTSD effect on this text. So what you can do is you can, after you've chosen to add the camera shake to the text, you can go all the way down here to camera shake. And you have a lot of different options here. What I usually do is I change the PTR speed here. That will make it shake super fast. Not maybe super fast, but pretty fast. And you can change how long the shakes would like to be. So yeah, like that. Pull down the tilt amplitude. So it's still pretty fast shaky, but it's not that far out of a shake. So now this text looks pretty trippy. So that is a couple of ways you can manipulate text inside of Davinci Resolve and using a lot of keyframing. Keyframing is a great tool in Davinci and you should learn to use it because you can use it like everywhere. It's great. It's a great tool. If you did like this video, I think you will like this one.